Hello, my beautiful daisies, and welcome back. If you are new here, so good to see you. I hope you decide to stick around and maybe join our little family that we have growing here. Not wasting any time, we're going to get right into it. If this message is for you, you are in the middle of a death and rebirth. You are showing up in a new way. You are walking brand new, and the people around you might be a little confused. They may not understand what's going on with you, but you know what's going on with you. And you are becoming so much more of who you truly are. Like more and more each day. Like this is happening on a very large scale for you. This isn't just like small shifts. Like you are like rolling through versions of yourself. You are becoming this. The healing that you've done is starting to show on the outside of you. It's starting to show in how you speak. It's starting to show in how you show up. It's starting to show with what you're willing to put up with. It's your boundaries are stronger. You're not mincing words. You're not unsure of where you stand. You still might be a little shaky because this is like new territory for you, because this is for my people pleasers. This is for my recovering people pleasers. You have been doing the work and you are coming out of that like need to please. You have pleased your whole life and you are not interested in it anymore. You have put up with the most your whole life. You have handed out chance after chance after chance after chance to people who used them like they were endless coupons. You have given people grace. You have given people compassion. You have given people the benefit of the doubt. You have projected your goodness out onto the outside world, onto other people, giving them the opportunity to show up like you, but they just don't. At least the people that have been in your life, they don't. And you recently woke up to like this, like it was like a shift. This is a very specific message for a very specific collective. So if this message does not resonate with you, that is okay. Leave it and move on. It's all right to click off. You're done. You're like at a place, you're just so done. And the first card that comes out, which we're going to go over and I'll show you, is Isis. She is sitting so sovereign in who she is. She is carved out of marble and she is at peace within herself. She is at oneness. She is a part of the stone. She is as sturdy and strong as the stone that she is carved out from. So like your whole life, your environment, your pain, your trauma, your triggers have been chiseling you into who you're really supposed to become, who you are becoming right now. And you are sitting in such a sovereign place. And you've never been at such peace in your life. The things around you might literally be falling apart. And not falling apart in a sense, but like everything, every aspect of your life right now can be shifting. Like your home situation, your family situation, your job situation, your relationship situation. Everything can be shifting right now. And it's only shifting for the better. And you're sturdy in your understanding of that. Like you're having your moments, you know, you're like, okay, this is a lot, this is stressful, but like you are standing right where you need to be. And you're like so deeply rooted into your faith and trust in the universe and God that you know that they are going to line everything so perfectly in your favor that even if it doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like, it's going to work out. You have such a trust right now that it doesn't matter what the outside world looks like, because you know what you've been manifesting for years and you feel it. And this message is in connection to the last message that I did. So if you feel called to go watch that, there might be something in there for you as well. But this is just a continuance of that message. You are sitting pretty. You are sitting handsome. you have this knowing, this trustful knowing in the divine that you are protected. And you so are, because the card that comes after Isis is Anubis. And the way that it shows up for me is this is the card and his back is to her. So he is, I see this as like a buffer between where you are right now and where you're going, which is the High Priestess. And in the middle of that is the Rainbow Bridge. So this is what's happening on the outside of you. Like, you feel this on the inside of you, and this is energetically, this is what's happening on the outside of you. And I know I'm jumping around with the cards, but it tells a story, I promise. So you are being watched and guarded and protected by your angels, by God, by your spirit team, by your ancestors, whoever is your protective group. And they are on guard while you finish up this transition, this rebirth that is happening for you. They are standing in between the remaining of your becoming and where you're about to go. So, like I said, this is what's happening on the inside of you. Your heart, you're having like a heart activation. Your energy is beaming out to the outside world right now. Like, your outside world is shifting because you've done the inner work. The inner work is now showing up in the 3D. It's happening in bits and pieces, but you see it slowly shifting. It's like, I'm seeing like someone in a house, like I want to even say like a concrete house, okay? And it's like you're staring at this blank concrete wall, and all these like fractures are happening into the wall because the box you were put in your whole life, this concrete house, isn't what's meant for you. And what's on the other side of this concrete house is literally the life that you've manifested. You've been manifesting for years, but it couldn't come into fruition yet because you had to get to this place. You had to get to this place of knowing, because this isn't just like manifesting like a car. This is manifesting the life that you're supposed to step into, that life that you know you are made. You've always known you're made for more. This is a big thing. And it's not like, oh, fame. It could be for some of you, but it's like, it's not like an ego thing. It's like you're meant for you have a big purpose. And this old foundation that you were raised through is cracking, and it's gonna crumble so that you can walk out the front door and take your first step into like this new life that you've created. Everything that's happened inside of you that you've healed is emanating from you, and now everything outside of you is starting to shift. So just give me a second. So if you look at this card also, it's like a veil. So where the rainbow isn't is like that concrete wall. It's like what was. And now what is on the other side is slowly being peeled away, like the veil is being pulled back so that you can come into the creation that you have co-created with the universe and God. You know, everything is aligning for you right now. And it's going to take its time, in which it does, because everything has to line up, but you're already seeing how it's coming into your reality. Now, like I said, you are at a place in your life right now. Something could have happened recently for you that really was the catalyst for this change when it comes to your intuition. You've always known that you were an intuitive person. You've always been very in touch with your feelings. You've always seen things that other people didn't see. You saw the underneath of a lot of, patterns and people's bad habits. You saw the underlying manipulation of the room, things that a lot of people just sweep under the rug. This could have happened. This could have been when you were a child. You might have saw things and people shut you down. People told you to be quiet because you were shining a bright light on a very dark thing, and nobody wanted to feel it. Nobody wanted to talk about it. They wanted to set it and forget it. And you're not like that. If there's a problem, you want to fix it. If there's something that can be healed, you want to do that. You don't see a reason as to why, if there's a problem, if there's something that's wrong, why we would just sit in it for the rest of our lives and be miserable. You don't operate like that. And a lot of the world operates like that, but you do not. So you have not fit in. You have always been outcasted. You've always been on the outside of your own life, and you've tried to fit in a million different ways. You've tried to contort and cut and shove yourself into a very, very, very small box, and you just don't fit. And it's not that you don't fit in because you're not enough. You fit in because you're more than enough, and you're more than what you're surrounded by. And again, it's not like you're too good for those people. Your heart is just so pure that you belong in a different environment because you're not stuck, because you don't want to remain stuck. Those people stay where they are their whole lives because that's where they remain, but you move. You do not stay in one place for a long time. You are constantly shifting. You're constantly growing. When you say you're doing the healing, when you say you're working on your people pleasing, when you say you're working on your boundaries, when you say you're working on these things, you're actually doing that. You're taking the steps that you have to take to build those foundations in all those different areas of your life. You're doing the things. You're implementing it into your life. You're not just like, oh, I'm working on my boundaries, but nothing happens. You're not just using the terms, you're applying the definition to your life. There's a difference. So like, you probably even told people like, oh, I've realized I'm this, I realized I people please, I gotta stop, I'm really working on that, and I know I don't have any boundaries. And if you're surrounded by people like us, we are usually surrounded by people who take advantage of the fact that we don't have boundaries, take advantage of the fact that we're a people pleaser, because we give until we got nothing left. The thing is, the place of where you are right now, those people around you that have always taken from you, they just found out that your well actually runs dry. It's not an endless supply of forgiveness. It's not an endless supply. Sorry, my grounding rock. It's not an endless supply of chances, of forgiveness, of just you shredding yourself for the comfort of other people. You have a bottom, and people, they saw your light, they saw your love, you're sweet, you're kind, you're compassionate, and that's what they see. And you've told them that you have other shades to you. You have other parts. They didn't want to believe that you had those parts because you're too sweet. Oh, no, you're too soft. Well, now you're at a point in your life where they're not receiving the soft version of you anymore because they took it for granted. They took every forgiveness as a permission slip to do it again. They took every it's okay as a pass to push you to a limit they thought you didn't even have. And they thought that you would be standing there forever. And for a lot of you, you're not standing there anymore, and they're very confused. And they shouldn't be. They should not be confused at all. Because you don't run a person until they're dry. You don't run a person. You don't take advantage of someone like that. You don't take advantage of a good heart that will give you the shirt off your back so that you can keep running amok the way you want. It's selfish. And now there's consequences for that. People that have never been held accountable for their actions. People who have never been had to face the consequences of their actions. Okay, well, you're not doing it anymore. And it's not cold. And it's not anger. You're done. And they never thought that you would get to being done. And you are. And no one's expecting that of you. And I want to say how fucking proud I am of you for that. Because I know how hard it is to get to that place. To potentially break your own heart. To walk away from people who don't deserve you. And the reason they don't deserve you is because they mishandled you. They fumbled you. And you're not standing in those spaces anymore. You are so done. Everything that you have endured your whole life is like, it like bubbled to the surface, and you are just waiting on that like little feather to like land on top, and it bursted everything open. It ignited this like, it's not anger. You could be angry, but it's not anger. It's not revenge. It's like freedom. It's like that last thing landed, and it's like, I'm going to free myself from my own shackles, because that's exactly what it was. You cared so much. And people know that. And they count on that. But what you're doing now is you're taking all that and you're pulling it back. And people can probably feel the lack of your energy. You're saying, you've been siphoning me till I literally have nothing. And you are like a clown. You know how they have that rope? Like, that's how much energy you have out there in the ether. And you are like pulling it all back. And it is like filling you up in a way that you are about to just like pop off. Everybody who's ever misunderstood you, everybody who's ever doubted you, everybody who ever told you you'd never make it, everybody who told you were never enough, everybody who just told you to sit down and be quiet. Oh, are they going to be sitting down being quiet? And I hope they have their popcorn, because you're about to put on a show. And you're not doing this like to show up. You're just finally stepping into who the hell you really are for the first time in your life. You're not apologizing. You're not asking. You're embodying. And amen to that. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Amazing. I love it. I love you. You are doing work of angels. You're an angel. You've been an angel in people's lives. Now you're like, you know what? I'm taking that love and I'm giving it to myself. You may have had dreams that you have never been able to fully put the time and energy into, because your energy was spread so thin to all these other people, all these other things. So you had so little time for you. Now you have all the time in the world, and you are betting on yourself this time. You're not trying to get someone else to see their potential. You're not trying to drag people along with you to bring them where you're going, because they're not supposed to come. They can't, because they're not doing what you're doing. And it just is what it is. And that breaks your heart, because you might care about these people a lot. You might love them a lot, but they've hurt you in such ways that outweighs everything else. And there's just been too much. There's been too much of it, that you've reached this breaking point. And again, it's not anger. It's not revenge. It's not you showing off. You're just embodying who you are. And what happens from that, you got nothing to do with it. Because this is you and God. This is you and the universe. And you've been doing so much inner work and healing that now the universe is going to conspire with you to bring it into your reality. And your life is not going to look the same. And people are going to be very confused. And people are not going to have anything to say. And people are going to want to think it's something else that got you where you're going. But honey, this is you and the divine. And you feel how ready you are for this because you have held yourself back for so long. And the last year, 2025, was a year 9. It was the year of the snake. So you have literally been shedding versions of yourself that have not benefited you for the past year. And I think I'm not 100% on like the astrology and all that stuff, but I think it's February or March, I think, where the year of the snake officially ends, and the I think it's the fire horse, I don't know, starts. So like I see like, you know, like a horse race, how the horses are like behind the gates. Like you are like, I have been held back my whole life by every single person that I ever held close and dear. And you might be standing very isolated right now, and that's okay because you need this time of isolation to really cultivate who you are, really finalize these boundaries, these new just this new way of showing up, because this is a new version of you. You've never been this version of you, and it's so empowering. But you're still like getting your sea legs, but like you're rolling through it and fast. You're like you're so done. You're so done pretending, and you weren't even intentionally pretending, but you're so done not saying what you mean. You're so done holding it down. You're so done afraid of hurting other people's feelings. But you know what? Some of these people really need to hear the words you're saying because they're not shifting and all they're doing is hurting the people around them, and they got to stop. And you got to clock it. And then you got to go. That's it. Sometimes you're just a trigger in someone's life. Sometimes you're just a season to trigger and go. And on to the next thing. Like we, as divine beings, we have jobs on this plane, okay? We do a certain job. And sometimes you're just in a place for a phase to help elevate a certain group of people. And then you're on to the next thing. But this time, your whole life, the life you knew, because of you, because of the work you've been doing, is crumbling. And I don't mean crumbling in like a panic kind of way. I mean crumbling in like you said to God, to the universe, I don't belong here. I don't fit here. This is not mine. This does not belong to me. I belong somewhere else. I belong in a different environment. I belong in a different state. I belong in a different place. And because of the work you've been doing and the level that you're finally at, which is the high priestess, look at this. Embodying, walking, arms open, ready to receive everything that you've been asking for. Pardon, my hands are shaking because this message is coming out of me so fast. My chest is tight, my hands are shaking, and we're just moving through it. The energy is so intense. The last 2 days for you could have been crazy days. They could have been just like, what just happened? Or the energy is just so intense that you're just very exhausted, but you're also very revved. Like I'm talking really fast right now. And I promise you, the moment I stop this video, I'm going to have to take a very, very, very deep breath. Because it's moving fast. It's so fast. But you're stepping into divine knowing. You just know that what you're walking into is what you've asked for. And you probably forgot about a lot of things that you even asked for that you're about to get. This is Jasper protecting the message. And they might be things that you don't even actually want anymore because you're just not even in that place. And that's okay if they do come in and you're just like, you know what? Thank you, but that doesn't align with me anymore. And that can just make room for something new that does fit this version of you. So just be mindful of that too. Like just because something comes into your existence and you know that it's from the divine, from God, if it doesn't align with you, who you are today, it's okay to say, no, thank you. And, pardon me, excuse me. And like refine that want or desire. So at the bottom of the deck, we have High Council of Light, which is Ascended Masters, Divine Leadership, and Collaborative Purpose. So like I said before, this message is for a very specific collective, okay? A very specific group of people. There's not many. There's not this many, you know. But it's a very specific message. And you're coming into the highest ascension of your healing thus far. And you are in a leadership role of some kind, or you're going to be stepping into the leadership role of some kind. While you were growing up, you could have always been like considered like the mom or the dad of the group, very responsible, very concerned with everyone's well-being, never wanting to do anything wrong, always wanting to do the right thing, always being like a leader, you know, very kind and loving. You don't have that ego trip. You don't want to sit in a position of power to control people. If anything, you want to sit at a higher level so that you can help people, heal people. And that's what this divine leadership is. And it also says collaborative purpose. So you have a purpose here on this plane to do a divine job. And the universe is like bringing, it's, now I'm seeing like a rocket ship take off. So like, you know how like all the smoke and like fire flame come down? Like that's how I'm seeing like the manifestations coming from like the divine to the earth. Like everybody's stuff that they've created, that they've finally like vibrationally aligned with, is coming in like firepower. But again, don't think that it's because you just asked and it's like, here you go. Like if you're here, if you're still listening, you know that's not how this works. You know that's not how manifestation works. You know that you had to dismantle a lot of old patterns, a lot of old ways of the family line. A lot of things that happened to your family probably happened to you as well, because that's usually how it goes, and it stops with one person. So you know that even though you don't fit in with your family, you still understand the pain. And that's the point. That's where your compassion comes in. You were a part of the pain. So when you see people in pain that you don't fit in with, you still hold compassion for where they stand, where they sit in that pain. Because you've been sitting with your family in that pain, and you hold compassion for them, especially if they are the ones that have caused that pain for you. But you're at such a high level that you understand that they too were once a child and then received pain, abuse, whether that be physical, emotional, mental, sexual, trigger warning. There's a lot that you had to unpack. There's a lot. And because you understand all these things is what gives you such a high level of compassion for the outside world, because you know that people don't just come into the world upside down. We come from divine love. We come from God. We are made of love. It's the frequency of the universe. And then things happen to us. And we don't know what to do with that pain. So then we hold on to it. We hold it in our bodies. We project it onto other people. And this has happened to you. You know, you were like, I don't understand why everybody is being so cruel. Why there's so much cruelty. You could be a humanitarian. It's always just left you very confused, because you would never treat anybody that way because it did happen to you. And instead of taking it and making it who you are, making it define who you are, instead, you flipped it and you're like, I never want anybody to feel like this. And I certainly don't want to be the one who inflicts it on them. And don't get me wrong, like, it was your environment. You learned things that you had to unlearn. You learned patterns that weren't healthy for you. You've had to reparent yourself in a sense. But that still doesn't mean that now that you're in the state and the stage that you're in, that you would ever purposely hurt another person. Okay, so the storage on my phone has told me now 4 times that I cannot record this, and I have deleted so many things. So I'm going to try to finish this message for you guys because it needs to get out. So again, you could understand manipulation on a new level. You have always seen it, but you never trusted that initial intuitive hit. You always thought it was mumbo jumbo in your brain, and you're not doing that to yourself anymore. You're not dismissing that first initial knowing about something. You're listening to it. You're letting your intuition guide you in a new way, and you are like fully immersed in like what God and the divine have for you, what they want to say to you. You are like so open right now, and you are not letting the outside world manipulate that anymore. You're not holding back to make people comfortable, because you know what? You've been uncomfortable your whole life. So you're like, you know what? You guys are already uncomfortable. So I'm just going to give you another sprinkle of that, and I'm going to be comfortable for once in my life, because you've been like a shield for other people. You know that maybe they can't handle it. So like, you're like, oh, I got it. And you've been taking like hits for years, just like shielding either your family or your friends or, you know, whatever dynamic it is. And you're not doing that anymore. And now the thing is, you're going to step aside and you're not going to be the shield anymore. And now people are going to have to deal with their shit. But like, they don't learn if they don't deal with their shit. If they don't have to like, be held accountable for their actions and, you know, face consequences, they don't learn anything. They just learned that you're the scapegoat and that you'll do it. You'll figure it out. It's on you. And you're not holding the bag anymore. You're like, take your bag back. I don't want your bag. I don't want your ugly bag. Take it back. And that's just where you are. And that's amazing. And you feel so free. It's the freest feeling you've ever felt, because you finally freed yourself from just what everybody else has just put on you your whole life. You let it go. You completely let it go. And people, they're just going to have to navigate without you, because you're not a fucking GPS, okay? Navigate yourself. Navigate your own life. Navigate yourself towards your dreams. That's what you're doing. That's where your focus is. That's where your energy is. That's where your time is. And if people don't like it, well, they should have treated you right when you were in their space, because they probably had more than plenty times to do it right, and they didn't. And that's just on them. And that's not your problem. You got bigger fish to fry, and you were on your way to doing that. And because of the storage on my phone, I'm going to leave that there. I hope this message resonated for you. I hope that this message gave you something. And the person you are in the process of becoming is so sovereign and so beautiful. And the universe has your back, and they are so excited to give you the life that you deserve, the life that you've been creating, the life that you have put out there for yourself. And because of your healing, you're getting those rewards because you deserve it. And that's it. You don't need any more you don't need any more reason than that. You're worthy beyond this world, beyond this universe, and the universe knows it. And you're about to see that. I love you so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye.